Hello, this is Brian Pash, and welcome to another podcast. Today, I'd like to talk about a topic that really applies to those of you who are working in the vendor community. Of course, dealers listening to today's podcast, I'd love your feedback on my approach to helping create a more collaborative conversation between vendors and dealers. So let me set some baseline information for today's podcast. The average dealership manager, whether it's the marketing manager, sales manager, or general manager, can receive 5, 10 phone calls every week from another company trying to sell them something regarding digital services. Think about it. How does a dealer know which phone calls to take when everyone is saying that their solution is better than the one that dealers have in place? As a general observation from someone who's consulted inside and outside of automotive, automotive is absolutely the most competitive space for digital agencies. I've worked for doctors and lawyers and product companies and food companies, and they do not have this constant barrage of agencies getting in their ear and planting seeds of doubt. Yet, maybe it's because the general manager's name and email address is on the website. Maybe it's because this industry has, a different DNA that everyone thinks that the dealer could do better than what they have. But the truth of the matter is, dealers do want to learn what's best for their business. They just don't always want to be sold. And so this podcast is focusing on the need for the vendor community to pivot in how they train their field people and customer support people to have a more collaborative discussion with their clients. So let me address those of you who are working for a vendor. You could be working for a CRM company, a website company, a digital agency, a third-party classified. When was the last time you called the dealer or emailed something to the dealer personally that could benefit them in an area that you do not sell a product? Think about that. Have you seen an article that I've written that you know would be helpful for a dealer on social media, but you're a CRM company, or you're a digital agency and you see a really good article on configuring Google Analytics to hold your agency partners accountable? Are you sending those articles to the dealer with a little note? Hey, I know this isn't in my wheelhouse, but this article seemed to be really helpful for someone like you. Or how many times have you observed something on the dealer's website or in their email communication or something on social media that you knew wasn't right? Have you taken the time to say, hey, listen, I occasionally look at my clients' websites, or I follow you on Facebook and I saw this post, or I saw the specials page was blank. I just want to give you a heads up. I am your partner with success. Even though I'm selling you websites, I want to let you know that I saw this in another area of your business where you could get better. Do you understand the power of sending information to your dealer clients that has nothing to do with the products you sell? In order for sales support teams, in order for technical implementation teams, in order for frontline retail salespeople to have a greater dialogue with dealers, you have to bring value to the game outside of just your product. Meaning, are you invited to the digital table? I want you to think about this virtual table where the dealer is sitting with all their monthly reports, with all the pitch decks that came in this month, and they're trying to make sense of what to change to improve performance. Are you one of the people the dealer calls? You may say, well, Brian, listen, I only sell third-party classifieds. We do a little retargeting. What value would I have regarding the dealer's website or their video strategy? If you think along these lines, your success will be limited only to the products that you sell and could be easily replaced if somebody else came into the dealership with a more consultative approach. Third-party classifieds are a perfect example of missteps that they've made in how they approach dealer accounts. For years, dealers have been asking for some way to validate the performance claims of third-party classifieds. Yet third-party classifieds have done little to set up Google Analytics properly, to set up custom channel groupings, to actually show the quality of the referral traffic, which is a small piece of the total traffic, but to show the quality of the referral traffic and how many conversions that traffic was involved in. In fact, when dealers see the role of third-party classifieds in their own Google Analytics accounts, when properly set up, their mouths open and their jaws drop, and they're like, wow, I only thought that I got 10 conversions from Car Gurus, but now that I'm looking at my assisted conversion data, I have another 200 leads. When I say a lead, phone call, chat, text, or a lead form. And when I say lead, I mean phone call, lead form, chat, or text. You get the idea? If the third-party classifieds years ago wanted to be more consultative, if they trained their field and implementation teams how to check Google Analytics, how to set up Google Analytics properly, they would not be in the brand perception challenge that they are today. Still, dealers think that third-party classifieds are expensive, and they think that Google AdWords is cheaper, or Facebook advertising is cheaper. And it's really a shame that the third-party classifieds didn't see this opportunity to show the quality of their traffic to dealers using a trusted third-party tool. But this conversation is not just about third-party classifieds. How many times has a CRM sales rep stayed so laser-focused on their product, that they weren't advising the dealer about how to set up better templates that can get through the gatekeeper, that they were not inspecting their website and their email templates to see if the brand message was consistent. They didn't provide dealers with scripts for videos that maybe I wrote or Joe Webb or Gary May wrote, meaning there are tremendous resources to help a dealer leverage their CRM, but are they really acting consultatively? Are they looking at retention issues in the BDC? And when a dealer's having a problem, do they know products or people that they could recommend to help solve the problem? So let's step back for a moment. Dealers can only increase their profitability by decreasing labor costs, optimizing their marketing, and taking the friction out of the sales process. These are the three laser-focused areas that progressive dealership managers are focused on. And guess what? If you're a vendor and you're only talking about your little slice of the pie, good luck in the future. But the companies who realize that if they could train their teams on the products on the market, if they can provide training on their teams how to be collaborative, if their field and technical support people install and support third-party trusted tools that help support their value proposition, well, a lot of positive things will happen. The dealers will appreciate that kindness. The dealers will appreciate that third-party validation of performance claims, and you'll win a seat at the digital table. For all vendors listening to today's podcast, I really want you to step back and ask yourself this simple question. What's the quality of my field team, my internal sales support team, my technical support team in things like Google Analytics, AdWords, social media advertising, CRM process, video advertising, website merchandising? Meaning, do they have a good feel for, the business? And what are some of those KPIs? And could they help a dealer in all areas of their business? The progressive companies who are not intimidated by that thought will start to build training modules that empower their teams to be more consultative to dealers. That's what dealers want. Dealers don't want 12 or 15 individual people calling on them every month. What they want is a competent, smaller set of partners to help them continually grow. The good news is that I've developed a complete course set up for the vendor community and the dealer community to understand what's going on at Tier 3 Digital, including sales process. So for the vendors who want to evolve in being more collaborative with their clients, and if you don't have that powerful Tier 3 training on all things digital and sales process, reach out to me. Dealers who are listening to today's podcast, if you agree that the vendor community needs to be more collaborative, that the vendor community needs to improve their training, send me a note. I'd love to anonymize some of those comments and send them out to the vendor community, send them out to the OEMs, so the message is loud and clear. If you want to sell me a service, great, but you need to be part of my business success. You need to be looking out for all aspects of my business, and you need to be a student of the game. You can't live in a silo. I'd love to hear from the dealers today. I hope in the future that the vendor community and the dealer community move closer together. I've published 5 books to help both vendors and dealers understand the challenges and opportunities that digital marketing represents. The latest 2018 digital marketing playbook is 100 specific ways in which a dealer can get better, and that playbook can be used in collaboration with their vendor partners to have unprecedented success in the coming year, because I want to empower the dealers and the vendors to work closer together. So it takes a commitment on both sides. The dealers listening to today's podcast, you need to demand more from your vendors. And for the vendors listening to today's podcast, well, you need to reinvent how you train your entire organization to support dealers at Tier 3. Competition is increasing, margins are decreasing, and consolidation is ever present. You need to differentiate your product and service with a consultative, collaborative sales and support organization. If you need help, reach out. I'm here with the tools, with the live training, with the remote coaching, and the online courses to solve that problem. But the industry has to move in that direction, whether you're using me as a coach or not, in order to continue your great success and to have a viable business that serves Tier 3 dealers. And I hope you'll tune in next week for another podcast.